They were the outcasts of the Greek world, until one man would rise and take his people to the heights of empire.
Alexander was one of history's great commanders. He was well aware that he lived in an age of innovation in Greek warfare.
Alexander the Great employed the latest technology to conquer civilizations, transforming the lands from Egypt to India into a new Greek world.
Greeks have conquered the known world, so they're exporting their way of life because they think it's the best way of life. It's the best way that any human can live.
But there are no kingdoms without a king, and with Alexander's swift and stunning demise, his empire would crumble almost as quickly as it was built.
Shalom, this is Shemaiah 1. I'm going to go into a video concerning Alexander the Greek. Okay, got a lot of brothers actually thinking that this guy is Obama, but let's find out what the prophecies say. We're going to go into the book of Daniel and the 7th chapter. And really this was just on my spirit. About to go to camp today, and I said, man, let me bring this out real quick. So this is kind of a spare the moment type thing. So this is Daniel chapter 7. It says, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and as a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Now I could go into that, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go straight to the point. Verse 6, After this I beheld, lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Okay, this is what I want to go into. Okay, we're talking about the Greeks right here. So we're going to find out what the prophecies say about Alexander the Greek. And then we're going to look at some history to find out if it's really him who it's speaking of, and not Obama. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 16. It says, And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Uli, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. Gabriel was sent down to Daniel to help him understand. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. Every person who comes in contact with an angel falls on his face. This happened to Zechariah in Luke chapter 1 as well. He fell on his face. But he said unto me, Understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. He's still knocked out. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns, now it's about to explain who the ram was, are the kings of Media and Persia. That speaks about that in the first part of this chapter. But we're concentrating on verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. So this horn is the king of Grecia. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So he's talking about 3 kingdoms. The 4th kingdom has not quite stood up yet. When you go into 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 11 and 12, that's where it speaks about the 4th beast. Verse 23, And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding, dark sentences shall stand up. So we're going to find out who that is. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So he's going to do the same thing that the children of Israel are supposed to do in these times. We are supposed to destroy wonderfully, shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty. And and the holy people shall rise. You could check that out in Jeremiah 31, verse 28. We're supposed to do the same thing. Or Jeremiah 1 and 10. Okay? So let me go to 25. Everything that this man, the Grecians, have created, they passed down to the Romans. And the Romans passed it on down to the kingdoms that they broke into pieces. Okay? And so that's what we're battling right now. You Israelites. Verse 25. And though his policy, this is what we're fighting against, the policies of old. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. What peace? The peace that he's bringing, not the peace that we know of, which is the Bible. So he's bringing his own policy, his own laws to destroy our laws, which is not bringing peace to us, is bringing his peace. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against a prince, a princess, but he shall be broken without hand. And we're going to read that in a minute. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. Okay, so now this is about to come out. So brothers have been bringing this out, but I'm about to bring it out again. Okay, for edification, because some brothers think that this is America. This is not America. This is the Grecians. Okay, this is Daniel 11 and 30. It says, for the ships of Chittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. Against the holy covenant. Who are the who? Children of Israel. They are the holy covenant. Remember in Deuteronomy chapter 7, the Most High made a covenant with the children of Israel. So shall he do, he shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So what is the intelligence that forsakes the holy covenant? Going to war against the children of Israel on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath day. Everyone knows the children of Israel rest on that day. A feast day. Children of Israel keep the feast days. Children of Israel keep the laws that was given to them by the father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High. So I'll drop down to the 31st verse. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and that they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. That's the answer to Matthew chapter 24. The abomination of desolation. So the abomination of desolation is what? The Greeks going into the Holy Land and destroying the Holy Covenant, which is still in place to this day. Nothing has changed. They are still polluting the laws of the Most High to this day. And we're going to go into that a little bit more, but I got to get to the main point. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. So through this, not only did the Greeks come against our people, but our own people came against our own people. Okay, that was the biggest enemy within each other. Remember, a lot of our people love flatteries. They love the vanities of this world. So by bribes and deals, a lot of our people will take certain things from the wicked just to corrupt the others. And then there's envy and jealousy. They don't want to see you do good. All right? Especially they don't want to see you keep the laws. So we drop down to the 34th verse. Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. There it is. All right. Following vain things. And some of them understanding shall fall. Even brothers that's in the truth going to fall because of the flatteries. It says to try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the end. That means now. Because it is yet for a time appointed. That time is now. That time that's appointed. And the king shall do according to his will. And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. And shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. So who did that? Is that Obama? No, it is not Obama. This is talking about that time. All right, which is going into this time, but it began with someone. Okay, and shall prosper till the indignation. Shall prosper means to go, live on. That's what prosper means. Till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. And now let's go into that 37th one. That was the whole point right there I wanted to show you. Let's find out who this really is. Is this Obama or is this Alexander the Greek? This book right here is called The Harvest of Hellenism, A History of the Near East from Alexander the Great to the Triumph of Christianity. This is written by F.E. Peters. Okay, this is really all about Hellenism, but it spins off on Alexander the Greek. So we're going to start at page 48. And we're going to drop down here to the third paragraph, middle of the third paragraph. And we want to start right here on another foray into mountainous eastern Sogdia. He captured the family of a local dynasty, among whom was the chieftain's daughter Roxanne. Soon afterward, Alexander married her, in what the latter historians relished as a true love match between the handsome world conqueror and the ravishing Central Asian beauty. If it was such, then it ran counter to everything else we know of Alexander, whose only apparent interest, notice that, whose only apparent interest in women was bestowed on his mother Olympias and other less flamboyant but unmistakably mother figures like the dowager Queen Ada. Alright? So basically, this dude only married this woman because she favored his mother. But he wasn't really into women. Okay? The marriage to Roxanne was doubtless contracted for political considerations, never very far from Alexander's mind. There's no reason. The only reason why he married her is for political office. Okay? It's the only reason. So that falls in sync with verse 37, was it? Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women. Okay? Nor the desire of women. So now we're going to find out what does it mean by neither shall he regard the God of his fathers.
The Egyptians not only welcomed Alexander, they made him a god. In 331 BC, they crowned Alexander pharaoh, proclaiming him a son of Ammon, their most important deity. At age 24, Alexander had transcended mortality.